I don't love my mother. I do, however, love your comment because it gives me an opportunity to talk about what it looks like to grow up with a mother who hates you. And my mother, literally, in every way she could, demonstrated that she hated me. So let's read the comment. Let's get into it, shall we? She took care of you when you were an infant, else you wouldn't be here. At least you should have some love left for that. Okay, so why? Why should I have love left for that? Can you explain that to me? She provided for, by the way, she didn't, and I'll get into that in a moment. She provided for the basic needs of her child, food, keeping that child clean. I should have love for her meeting her basic contractual obligation, because when you bring a child into the world, you enter into a contract. And that contract goes beyond like food and shelter, by the way. That contract says that you're going to love that child unconditionally, provide safety for that child, and teach that child that they are wonderful, that they are capable, that they are intelligent, that they are a beautiful person. So when that child grows up, they have such high self-esteem that they won't mistreat themselves, that they will be successful in life, that they won't struggle with basic things like who to pick to be in a relationship with. You will protect that child. It's a contract, not be the person they need protection from. So now let's talk about love and my mother. As an infant, I was born absolutely head over heels in love with my mother. She was my first love because all I knew of her was nurture. I think. I have to say, I think, because I have no way of knowing how my mother ate, didn't eat, did drugs, drank alcohol. I do know she smoked cigarettes for sure, and all of that while I was in utero. What I do know is that she was the first heartbeat I ever heard, the first voice I was ever touched by. She provided, through no choice of her own, an environment that was the perfect temperature. And I got fed and all of that. So I knew the warmth and the safety of her womb. So I came out looking for her. Have you ever seen a newborn when they hear their mother's voice? They start to look even before they can really see and focus because they know that that's their safety. What an absolutely reprehensible, heinous crime it is to take that innocent, beautiful, perfect relationship and work overtime to destroy that child that was brought into the world through no choice of my own. So now let's talk about my infancy and why I should love my mother. I came to find out about a decade or so ago that my mother actually didn't take care of me as an infant. There was a nurse who was there for a very brief period of time because that's a thing that my family did. When they had babies, they had a nurse come in and help with care. Thank goodness for that. And then after that, she would leave me in my crib for hours on end while she was passed out or doing her own thing, watching television, whatever it was. She left me in my own excrement. She left me hungry. And she taught me how not to cry. Somehow I knew to soothe myself, amuse myself, and not cry. And the reason I know this is because my very first babysitter and her mother used to come and check on me after school every day. And there were times that my mother actually took off over the weekend, leaving me and my 5.5-year older brother behind with no food, no money, no nothing. This babysitter was 10 years old. I was in the care of a 10-year-old child, which is also mind-blowing. And thank goodness for her. I mean, she's just the most amazing being. She filled in a blank for me. I would have had no way of knowing. My mother neglected me so severely that I developed rickets. I have bow legs. I will have them the whole rest of my life. That same mother that I should have love for, by the way, because it appears you're new here on my channel, dropped me out of a 2-story window when I was around 5 years old. She broke my arms. She had no way of knowing I would survive that fall, by the way. And that took me a long time to figure out. Like, I never put it together, which is so strange, that she was actually trying to kill me. But that's my mother I should have love for. Maybe you should just edit yourself and not comment on the pages of adult survivors of child abuse. And by the way, I wish I had the kind of mother I could have loved. You have no idea what a deep wound that is. And the love that I had for her when I entered the world, you know, that unconditional, she was my everything love, that was replaced with fear. Do you get it? Probably not. Because if you did, you would never write that somebody should have love for somebody just on the basis of the fact that they brought them into the world. Ever. You wouldn't, that wouldn't even pop into your brain. Because people understand that, well, some people understand that the title mom or mother doesn't entitle you to love. It doesn't. It doesn't entitle you to respect. It definitely doesn't entitle you to gratitude. The title mother is a contract. It's a contract of care. My mother failed, breached, burned, ripped, destroyed that contract. And she did it with intention, because that's what narcissistic abuse is. It is intentional, systematic, methodical, patterned, insidious abuse designed to destroy a child's self-esteem to the point that they are constantly seeking love and approval from their abuser. The ultimate trauma bond.